to get to your destination, to get to your desired goal. Next slide, please. And now we have come to time management. I am going to be really fast with time management, so in 2 minutes I should round up. So time management is using your time effectively. Time management is the ability to use your time effectively. So what do we do with our times? How do we know what exactly to prioritize? So there are 4 quadrants for time management. The first thing is urgent and important. So you want to know if something is very, very urgent and is very, very important. If you have a mail that you need to submit in the next 10 minutes, it's urgent and it's important. Excuse me, that's one of the quadrants. Another side of the quadrant is urgent but not important. You know, something can be urgent but it's not important, or something can be important but it's not urgent. So when you are trying to manage your time, there are things that you have to look out for. Another thing is not important and not urgent. Many times our phones, when we need to be seriously doing something that will benefit us, we are doing WhatsApp and Snapchat and TikTok. Those things are not important and they are not urgent. Because if we do not do it, nobody is going to ask us. And then the last will be not urgent, but in your life, you should be able to say, no, I have other things that I want to do, but in a very, very polite manner. Of course, if it's something that you can do, why not? But if you feel that it is encroaching into your time and restricting you from doing what is urgent and important, you can say no in a very respectful manner. Please, let's just go ahead. So we are done with time management. We just keep going over to the next slide until I am ready. So this is what we just talked about. So let's go to the next slide. The next slide. The next slide. All right. Effective communication. Like I said earlier, I told us that one of the soft skills that we need to have is effective communication. And at what time do you say that communication is effective? At what time do you say that communication is effective? When you are able to convey a message from one person to another and there is a feedback, then you can say that communication is effective. Effective communication is very, very necessary because it helps us relate with people. Can we zoom that a bit? Can we zoom that in a bit? Okay, thank you. Tilt it towards the beautiful. So by the end of this course, we should be able to identify key elements and principles of communication, develop active listening and empathy skills, learn effects of nonverbal messages, and ability to describe your own communication style. Okay, so we know that while we are communicating, there are certain things that we have to look out for. Somebody who is communicating, you have to look at the person's body language because it sends some messages. You know, sometimes somebody is saying something else, but the body language is different from the communication the person is actually sending out. So we have to be able to understand body languages. Again, we have to be able to understand non-verbal communication. Okay? So that we do not, you know, sometimes people will tell us, I am responsible for what I say. You are responsible for what you understand. So to be able to avoid all those drama that can lead you to something that you wouldn't want, effective communication is very, very important. Can we please go to the next slide? So there are 7 C's of effective communication. It has to be clear. Like I said, I am responsible for what I say. You are responsible for what you're understanding. No. Effective communication, in effective communication, you have to be clear so that there is no dispute between you and whoever it is you're communicating with. It has to be concise. Keep it short and simple. It has to be concrete, be specific. Do not use words that have more than 3 meanings or more than 1 meaning. Just go straight to the point. You should also make sure that whatever communication you're doing makes sense. All right, that's being coherent and then complete. Each message you have must have a clear conclusion in order to make proper decision. So make sure that each message you're taking out is very, very clear and you conclude it so that whoever it is you're passing the message or across to or communicating with will be able to make an informed decision. And like I said, lastly, cautious. We have to be cautious. We have to be cautious. We have to be polite. Remember when I was saying that you can say no to somebody, right? So while you are saying no, make sure that you are cautious. Make sure that you are polite. Please, let's go to the next slide. We'll go to the next slide. The next slide, please. All right, so can we go back to the sandwich thing? The sandwich. All right, now, so remember that we talked about having to get feedback. Feedback actually means that your communication has been done. Feedback is an answer. When I go to the guy in yellow, please, what's your name, sir? What's your name? John. If I go to John and say, John, how are you? He says, fine. That's a feedback. But if I go to John and say, John, how are you? And he did not say anything. He has not communicated. So when you send out a message, you have to have a feedback. And then when somebody does something that you feel you have to comment on, there's something they call the sandwich approach. So you don't go to John and say, John, Shebe, I tell you, say, may you plug this phone. You know if you plug on. Or you plug the phone, you know plug on well. Or John helps you cook food. He did not put Maggi, or maybe he forgot to put Maggi, and when you get to the house, you just start shouting, John, which kind of rubbish food be this way you cook now? The food not just sweet at all. In communicating your truth, make sure that you're doing it politely. So the first thing you want to do is, Mr. John, this food that you really tried though. That's the first thing that you want to do. You try as much as you can to encourage him that he has done well. And then we can use words like, however, the salt. It be like say you been forget to put salt for the food, shao. But in all things, you really tried. The food sweet. Tomorrow he would want to do it again and do it better. So he would want to take the things that you have told him into cognizance to be able to do it better. So when you communicate, make sure that you have feedback and make sure that whatever you're doing, do not forget to use the feedback sandwich method. So thank you very much for your time. Because of time, we have to run. So I'll have my colleague Esoe come over the stage and continue from where I stopped. Thank you.
All right, so did we have a nice time? Did we enjoy what she said? Did you learn anything? So who is able to tell me one thing you have learned? One thing, only one. Oh yeah, now. You did not learn anything. Okay, maybe speak Bini. Thank you.
When communication does not have feedback, then there is no communication.
So she said she learned that when there is no feedback, communication has not taken place. Do we understand? When there is no feedback, communication has not taken place. So please, the person on the slide, stick to the slide, please, and for time's sake, so that we can just flow. Are we together? Thank you. All right, so I'm going to be talking about something that means a whole lot to young people. I want to talk on employability skills. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Please wake him up. Thank you. I want to talk on employability skills. Now, there are a lot of young persons, right? A lot of us say there is no what? Can I shock you a bit? That actually, the problem is not that there are no jobs. Most of the problem we have is that we do not have capable hands for the jobs available. And that's why I need to encourage you, as young persons here now, to take advantage of this training. You know, because you didn't pay for it, you most likely will not understand what it costs. Not be you pay put. It's coming to you for free. After all, our church we come. Now, concern I won't give us certificates. Ladies and gentlemen, while you are saying there is no job, there are people that are running away from jobs. I'll tell you, I'll just use myself as an example now. Before I came here, for this week alone, right? This week, I've had 3 different trainings. So this one that I'm doing with you is the 3rd training for 3 different organizations. It's not back of house organizations. The first training I finished, which Ebube also handled, was a training for young persons with GIZ. GIZ is an international company. You can also Google. The second one I did, from which I came here, was for Coca-Cola. So as I'm calling the name, I'm sure even you the reason the money that they pay me by yourself. Abi? Shebi? And the 3rd one, the one you are doing nice with Jobberman. Jobberman also is an international organization. Yesterday, I finished training with Coca-Cola. I trained for about 8 hours. And I got an alert of over 250,000. So I said that for you to sit up. It may look as though right now, what did they talk? Oga, sit up. Madam, sit up. Because the cross of the matter with job, that's what we want to enter now. Why some of you are saying there are no jobs? There are people who are literally saying, I beg, can I do this job another day? Can we push it? And the difference is the employability skill. And when I'm talking about employability skill, I am not talking about the fact that you went to university. No. I'm not talking about the fact that you have a degree. No. What Ebube was trying to talk to you about just now, in terms of soft skills, when she said, soft skills are those skills that you need to be able to be productive and effective. Organizations have moved past the time, where they are saying, wait till you study for school. Oh, mass communication. They have left that place since. Now they are dealing with skills. And like we rightly said, soft skills are not skills that are quantifiable. That means you cannot touch them. Because you cannot touch them, right? They are those skills that people will put you to test for. How many of you have ever attended an interview here? I've gone for a job interview. How many of you? Let me see your hands up. Okay. I'm pretty sure you've gone for a job interview and you got there. For like 1 hour, they don't come out, can't talk anything. They just sat down. They are looking at you. And that was soft skills that they were testing you for. So why some of you sat down there waiting for them to come out and call your name? Somebody was looking at you from camera and looking at your attitude while you were waiting. Soft skills. That's what we're still talking about. And then some of you also, while you sat down there waiting, oh, all these people safe. And they're trying to get customer care representative. Then they look you and say, no, this one no fit work for you. You go slap. And you're wondering, who be the village person where they worry me? Oga, madam, no village person they worry you. Now only you, they worry yourself by yourself because you have decided to upgrade your skills. When it comes to writing of CVs, your CV, curriculum vitae, how many of us have a CV? How many of us have CV? Okay, I say many of them are not ready won't work. Even if you're a business person, you have your own business, Oga, you should have a CV. You should have CV. When you're writing your CV, your curriculum vitae or your CV, so the full meaning for CV is curriculum vitae, right? When you're writing a CV, your CV is an extension of you when you are not there. Your CV is you when you are not there. It's the reason why 1,000 people will submit CV. From the CV, they will pick 100. They not see you. They not see your face. Talk more say the woman not like your face. Now make her not pick you. It is because there are certain details about you that they can find from the CV. And then they can tell that, okay, may this person can't do the test. So as young persons, whether you are still in university, I know as to just cut off strike, whether you're in secondary school, you should have a CV. And when you're writing a CV, please, can we stay on the slide? I know that I'm a fine girl. I've seen myself enough. Just stay on the slide, please. Thank you. While we're writing a CV, while you're working on your CV, there are certain details that must be there. Remember that we said that your CV is a paper representation of you when you are not there. Are we following? Many of you have social media platforms. On that platform, they ask you for your bio. Abi? That's a CV. You have heard people tell you that I did not apply for the job. Somebody just went through my bio and sent me an inbox and said, can you do so and so job? Do you understand? So when you are writing your CV, can I go to the slide for CV writing or employability, please? When you're writing your CV, certain things that we must see on the CV, certain things I need us to pay full attention. Because your CV is an extension of you, there are certain things that influencers or organizations need to see on your CV. Please take me to CV writing. That they need to see on your CV. Your curriculum vitae is divided into 3 parts. How many? How many? Beautiful. The first part of the CV is called your biodata. It's called what? It's called what? Your biodata is about you. So this is the place where you tell us your name, how we can reach out to you, your email address, your house address. However, because of times and place, right now, when you're writing a CV, we don't want you to be exact with your location. That means do not say number 7, Iyokoriamo Street, off Agbado Market, Uzebu Quarters. Do you understand? We don't need that detail. When you're writing your address, just put the area. For instance, Ikoba Hill Quarters. Yeah, okay. Do we follow? The reason is for security reasons, because of what times are at the moment. Right? Then the next thing is your email. I know many of us are imagining email. What I want to use email to do. How many of us have email? Because we're going around now trying to take the test. We are seeing that some of you don't have emails and you are young persons. The matter is strong. Go help yourself. Please, on your email, I know that we have slay queens in the house. We have UP guys that flex a whole lot. Your email is not where you begin to say sexyqueen@gmail.com. Na lie. Your email is not where you say flexingdaddy@yahoo.com. No. There is a corporate email. Your email is an extension of you. So on your email, we should see you. For instance, my name is Esoe Esther Ide. My email is esoeide@gmail.com. I have another email, coachesoe gmail.com. I have another email that is linked to my own website, so it carries my name, coachesoy@gemfield.com. Your email is not where you come and start telling us sexy queen, slay mama, yopi mama. No. The email has to be an extension of you, your name. I know that you say, when I put the name, they say, they're available again for Google. Add another thing. Esoe Ide 2. Esoe I Esther. It has to be around your name, because sometimes the organizations that want to get you, if they are not able to get your mail, maybe from your online platform, they should be able to guess your email and try it out. Do we follow? When you are done with your bio data, very important, because if you don't give us a bio data, how do we reach you? After you have submitted your CV, there is no contact information. How we want to call you if we want you for interview? When you're done with that place, the next thing now, you can see what I'm talking about. Look at the screen. So for those of you, you can see Cynthia Johnson, marketing professional, Ikoyi, Lagos, Nigeria. If you dey plan, say you won't go kidnap Cynthia, you don't know your address. The only thing you know, na Ikoyi. Oh, you have been turning around Ikoyi now. Do you understand? Avoid number, no. And then once you're done with that, the next thing we want, see our email, cynthiajohnson@gmail.com. Even if you're a clubbing queen, keep that email somewhere else. When you're writing a CV, get a professional email. Do we follow? Now, you go down, you see the next thing, professional summary. What have you been doing? Tell us about yourself. Ebube mentioned self-awareness just now. Abi, what do you know about yourself? Not just what you know about yourself, but what do you know about yourself that the organization needs? Because the organization is not looking for you, or they're not going to pay you because you are a fine girl, or because you are a cute boy. They're going to pay you because they have a need. Abi, when they say vacancy, that means that there is something that's supposed to be done in the organization, but the person who is doing it is not there. So we need somebody else to come and do it. That's vacancy. In this professional summary, you're supposed to tell us something about you that fits what the organization is looking for. See, Cynthia Johnson, professional, marketing professional summary, expert marketing and advertising manager with over 5 years of professional experience. Can you see all of that? Remember I said that the CV has how many parts? So we've talked about the bio data, right? Now we want to talk about you. What is about you that is interesting to the organization that will make them hire you or fire you? When you're done telling us about your professional summary and all of that, in this place you will tell us what you are doing and how it will affect the organization. So if I bring you in, Cynthia has 5 years marketing experience, what will it do for the organization? See it. As well as utilizing metrics to increase brand awareness. That means she's telling them that if you employ me as your marketing manager, what I can do for you is to make your company known everywhere. And if your company is known everywhere, what happens? More sales, more profits, more money. Do we understand? Wake the person beside you. Are we together? When you're done with that, the next thing are core competence. Core competence. You know, somehow it's becoming really funny how we see that young persons do not commit themselves to training themselves. That means if your church had not made plan for this training, how many of you would have seen this training and pay for it by yourself to do it? Now, before you're looking at me and saying, you just do only one training for like 7 hours in the full week, and then they pay you 250,000 or thereabouts. Before we got to that point, talking about personal development, sure you can see all these things that this person has written here. Many of them are trainings that you pay for. Many of them you still don't have to pay. Some of them could be roles that you take up in the church and you are learning a skill. As they're doing your youth conference, somebody or one of you decides to say, okay, I found out that, for instance, when church is going on, people are sleeping, just like people are sleeping now, so wake yourself up. So people are sleeping. As a youth that came to church, I want to join the ushers so that I can help to wake people up when they are sleeping. You know, you look at ushers, say, they say, move, go front. Say, I somewhere no get level. Nonsense. I mean, they talk to, even because in a church, now, you don't tell me anything. What are you doing? You are developing a skill. Tomorrow, these people that are standing as ushers can write on their CV, experience, ability to manage people. It is an experience. Yes, that's how you come up with experience. Because I've seen a whole lot of young people say, if you not give us job, how we want to get experience? You will be saying 5 years experience, 7 years experience. Experience is everywhere. Are you following? Experience is everywhere. Some of you are the one that will hold your pastor's phone and be running and following him every time. That's an experience. You are the one organizing his calendar and saying, sir, you have an appointment for 9:30. Okay, what's the next agenda? Sir, somebody is coming to see you by 10 o'clock. Okay, sir, 5 minutes to your next appointment. Do you need water? Do you need this? Do you know what that is? That's organizational skills. Are you following me? Because remember that soft skills are not skills that can be measured. You learn them. As you're doing things, you are learning them. Many of you will say, okay, how am I able to stand and face crowd and train? See the way Ebube is training. See the way that small girl just came and said they are paying how much. You will learn it. Because sometimes some of you, to start Sunday service, your pastor call you, give you mic, pray. You say, no. Your choir mistress say, choir practice. Oh yeah, you. Come out and teach us a song. I cannot teach you any song. And you want to learn public speaking. Abi? You want to learn. One of the best places you can grow your skills is in the church. Many of us started from the church. My first public speaking engagement was in the church. Are we following? So you have a whole lot of opportunities in the church. And yes, the church is also where you're supposed to get the best disciplines. Many of Nakona, they say they are looking for some of you around. Fear cannot let them talk to you. Tomorrow you want to go and look for a job and you say, who be that small girl saying I be the ED? Do we understand? When you have written all of these things down on your CV, the next thing is your experience, work experience. What have you been doing? You have finished school for over 3 years. You sit down for house. You say they look for a job, but they don't for pay you 200,000. Are you worth that kind of job? If they won't give you that kind of money, do you know what to do with it? Apart from the next plan is to go and buy the latest iPhone. Are you following? Carry yourself, go and work with somebody. They don't have to pay you. Do you understand? Invest in your development. Because like I said, organizations are no longer looking for what you read. I had a first class. That's not to say don't become a good student in school. I was the best graduating student in my department in the university. BIU. What course? I studied English and literature. Do you understand? Some of you are in school, you don't want to be class rep. It's in my CV because I was the course rep from 100 level till we graduated. It's people management. It's in my CV. Did I do it or not? I did it. That's how you garner experience for your CV. The same way you can't work, they won't pay you 5,000. Oga, go and do it first. After 1 year, tell your Oga, say you need you need an increment in your salary. You have gained experience. Do we understand? Now that you have a CV, you know how to write a good CV. Another thing you must also learn to do is that when you're writing your CV, please, educational background. We don't need primary school, secondary school. No. If you have an OND, write it. If you have a master's, write it. It is only normal that before you have gotten into the university, you went through secondary school. Except if your SSC is your highest qualification, then it's fine. But if there's something higher than your SSC, just go straight to that place. And it's the other way around. It is not from the lowest to the highest. No, it is from the highest to the lowest. Do we follow? Now you have written a good CV. You know how to write a CV. You have submitted your CV. They are calling you for interview. How do you answer interviews? How do you prepare yourselves for an interview? So early last year, I was going to recruit for an organization. So yes, I also do HR. I was going to recruit for an organization. I needed to recruit about 19 staff for them. I'd gotten about 15 or thereabouts. I went to conduct the interview with my staff. So yes, Ma, you have staff. Yes, I have people who work with me as well. So we went there to conduct the interview. Of course, being the owner of the organization, I decided to wear, I wore slippers, like a normal flats, and I think a niqab, a skirt, and then a t-shirt. My team cannot dress that way, so they were wear dress, suits, and all of that. So I was seated outside. I used the Edo Jobs ground. So I was in the reception. The people who came for interview walked in, saw me, and walked past. Then they went to the hall where they were supposed to do interview and saw the people wearing suits and were doing, good morning, ma. Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, ma. Good afternoon, sir. They did the first round of the interview. When they marked, the people who qualified for the next stage came in for the oral interview now. And when they came in, they saw me on the panel. And suddenly it dawned on them that that girl what we see for outside just now, where we were pass, now I won't decide whether I go get the job or not. What am I trying to say? Now we have entered interview skills. The moment you are called for an interview and you walk into the interview center, everybody must get the utmost respect that they need. Many times, the executive director may be the gatesman to open the gates for you. And God bless you. In your house, you know Sabi greet gatesman. The bike man will carry you as he say, fine girl, you cousin. Ah, fine girl, help me. Oga, you imagine, no, your mate, you no get level. Me and you not mate. Oga, madam, help yourself. Do you understand? Because when you're going for interview, you don't know who is who. Are you following? Until they got to the second stage of interview, and of course, yes, the names were sent to me for those people that are going to skate through. I'm going somewhere through. I was trying to tell you initially that the interview you are going for, I know so many of them are diverse with HRO people, the way they do interview. But what they are looking for sometimes determine the kind of interview that they will have with you. Do you understand? I finished doing the interview. They've gotten some of the teachers. So the second phase, I think I had to send my staff. They did it on their own and sent me a name. They sent me 2 names when I was trying to get the assistant for the owner of the school. The personal assistant, now the secretary. Very early in the morning at about 6:30, I picked up my phone and called the lady, one of the numbers that they sent to me. And as soon as she picks the phone, who be this, who be this? I said, hello, good morning. If you're not getting what, you'll get out from my phone. So I dropped the call. I waited 5 minutes. I called her again. Hey! I dropped the call. Then I waited till about 9. I called her with the official line. As soon as she said, good morning, ma, what changed? Madam, the first call when I call you, that was when I made my decision that you cannot get the job. Because if you are going to be an assistant, mothers and parents of those children in your school, they will call you at about 5 o'clock. Don't tell me that you were having problem with your husband. That's why you picked the call anyhow. Because you always have problem with your husband. Your children will always offend you. You do not carry your personal life into the corporate life. It does not work. Do you understand? It cannot work. So when you're going for an interview, there are certain ways you must look. You can't be going for an interview, my dear young woman, and you're wearing slippers. You say, I'm not sabi wear heels. You go learn them. You go learn them. As you are going, you wear slippers. Chakpa, chakpa, chakpa. You cannot walk. You're chewing gum anyhow. You enter the hall like that. It's will be this one. I guess this one they come. You must dress the path that you are going. What did I say? The path that you are going, you must dress that path. You don't have to be there yet, but you can dress that path. Are we together? You want to become whoever you want to become. Start dressing like that. Na youth conference we come. I feel wear slippers, wear anything, no concern anybody. Na lie. It is the way you do one thing. That's the way you do everything. No, tell yourself, say, later. No, not later. Do we understand? Immediately you walk into the venue for the interview. But before that day of the interview, what are you supposed to do? Oh God, look for the clothes that you want to wear. Go and do research about the company. Know what works for them. When I was told I was coming to talk in a youth conference in your church, I began to ask questions. That they wear trousers for them. If I wear trousers, you sure they don't go pursue me.
Amen.
Fortunately, my grandmother is a member of this church. So she's like, oh, no, yes. And she's like, oh, fine. Now listen. Your church in itself does not wear trousers, quote and unquote, right? Are you following? But I also do know that because it's a youth conference, right? If I were coming to your church on Sunday, Oga Madam, I not go wear waiting and wear so. Don't come and say, because say no be my church. Any hour I like, I go take dress, go. No. Not be any hour we like. Do you understand? So it's the same thing that applies for an interview. There is a way you are supposed to be dressed. You have looked for your clothes the day before. You don't iron them in case NEPA take light in the morning. You iron them yesterday. You know about the company. It's not the day of the interview you'll be looking for the address. I bet you will get tired. All of those things, do it a day before. And when they tell you come for an interview by 9 o'clock, get there by 8:30. Don't get there by 8:30. You know what you will learn? You will learn some things in that environment before the interview starts. People have gone for interview and they ask them, when you enter this hall, to the left-hand side, what did you see? Because say you rush, enter. You don't know what is the environment. Self-awareness. You need to be aware of your environment. Are we together? When you sit before the interview panelists to do your interview, ladies and gentlemen, learn them, no be shakara. It is wrong to sit like this. Why is it that I don't tire? What if they won't even talk safe? It speaks about confidence. Confidence is in the way you carry yourself. When you are walking, how are you walking? Are you walking and you're walking like this? We don't have all the time to get into what all of those things mean. But it is a signal that you're saying, I'm still using it, sir. Hello, sir. I'm still using it. Thank you. But it's a signal that you are sending. Do you understand? When you get into the interview room, please, can everybody see me? There is a way to sit down. Don't sit down and be slouched. If you're a lady, if you can cross your leg while you are waiting. Do you understand? It shows confidence. Do we follow? Even as a guy, you can sit down as well and cross your legs while you are waiting. Don't go there and sit down like this. Sit confident. confidently. And all of these things count. I know in your mind, but except if it's a CCCOGi you want to be working. If you intend to be global or you want to be able to stand with international audience, then you have to learn these things. Are we together? There is also a way you shake people when you walk in for an interview. What did I say? Yes. There's also a way to shake people. Can I have a handshake? Can I have a handshake? That's not how to shake.
Please
not
round
your
up.
two hands. Not your two hands. Can I have you, sir? When you want to shake people, in a corporate world, right? Please don't look down. I know it's respect. You use two hands. Whether Nadango say, don't try it. Don't ever use your two hands. Within the church, yes, you can do that to portray respect to your pastors. But in the corporate world, but no, it's a no. Do we get it? When you want to shake people, you look them in the eyes and you extend a full handshake. Can I have a full hand? Do you get it? And it's also, I need your hand. It's also not a loose handshake. It's not a friendly one. It's a corporate handshake, so it needs to be firm. While you're looking at the person, eyeball to eyeball. Don't look down.
Thank you. Let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate them.
All right, so while we wrap up now, remember we did mention that you're supposed to get your certificate, Abby? You are done an assessment when we began. Remember, that one, we cannot use that one to give you a certificate. Okay, so that's a very key one too. Critical thinking and problem solving. You must learn how to solve problem. Don't be the one that see problem and you're announcing the problem everywhere. Find a way to solve it. It's okay, everybody can see problem, but the difference is in the people that can solve it. Solve the problem. Don't be telling us the problem. Buhari is so stupid. Find a solution. Our pastor said, we don't tell and say, may put something in no green. Find the solution. Manage what you have to get what needs to be done. That's problem solving. Are we together? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, while we're wrapping up, can we please put up the assessments again? So this time, I know that there were some questions you could not answer before. Abi, now we have taught you. Those same questions that you did before is the same thing you want to answer again now. So we expect you to do very well. As soon as we get your answers now, you will get your certificate for those of you who pass almost immediately before the end of today. Are we ready? So that's the link again. Get out your phones and take the end-line assessment. But while we're doing that, I want to ask us, did we learn anything? Did we learn anything? Was the training worth it? So who wants to share one or two things? Not you again, you have talked before. Who wants to tell me one or two things that they learned? While you are doing this, so open your phone and except if you don't want the certificate. If you know you want the certificate, open and
okay, resource
take
person.
the test.
Please let me be of assistant here.
Who is talking?
I am the one. Look at me here. I'm here with you.
Oh, beautiful, sir. Yes.
Right,
So
thank
can
you.
we quickly do that?
All right, please let's celebrate them for what they have taught us. Did you enjoy the session? Yes. Do you know why I'm responding yes? It's because they have taught you what will better your life now and even in the future. Okay? You were given some soft training on leadership, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and all of that. These are what you actually bring aboard as one who wants to be a societal ambassador. And now you have been repackaged again on how you should develop your CV and how you should behave yourself when you go for interview. No matter how the institution you want to engage with via that interview is, all this guide is to ensure that at the end of the day, you come out with a glowing color. All right? That has been achieved. And these persons that have given you this training, they did not just come to talk to you and you will just walk away. They want to certify you. Do you understand what I mean by certification? They want to give you certificate of training. That is why this site is being displayed. Okay? Log into it and fill those portions appropriately. And they will generate your information with it. They will send to you your certificate of participation. So that when anybody sees it, one will understand that you have actually undergone this kind of training. So please, without wasting time, you that is having a smartphone, take up that site, log into it, please, fill it appropriately so that your certificate will be given to you. And this very part, we are just going to use less than 5 minutes to do that. Okay, please be fast. We are not taking much of your time again. We go to the last segment and then we end this session. We will now go back to prepare for the evening session. And today is over. And then tomorrow is our grand finale. Is somebody celebrating Jesus in the house? Please log on to that website and fill those information appropriately. God bless you.
They are young people. It's a digital age. It's part of their. It's not that we don't have. So we need them to log in more and use the online platform. Then secondly, we're also noticing that some of your people are reluctant to write their name. We need all their names captured on their attendance.
All right, please. I have just been told that some of us, you are feeling reluctant to actually fill in your name as a participant. See, all these things, you don't know when opportunity will meet with you. When our deacon was talking to us this afternoon regarding mentorship, he made mention of something that has to do with opportunity. Okay? Talking about coaching and mentorship. The process in between the period of your now and the period of your future. What actually determines that factor is what is called opportunity. And these are the things that one can actually use, all right, as a status to build up yourself. So things like this, you grab them. You don't allow them just slip off your hands like that. As they give you the attendance, that is the participant sheet, fill in your name. It takes you nothing to do that, all right? And also, they've also made it easy for us. If you know that you don't have a smartphone, meet them at the back. The few persons that are not having smartphone, meet them at the back. They are going to give to you a form, a hard copy form to fill so that they can use the information there as well to issue you your what? Your certificate of participation. Am I clear? So please, if you are doing that, do it now, even while we move to the last segment of this very section. God bless you as you cooperate. Even while that is going on, I would like to ask if the BROCC persons are in this holy auditorium. BROCC, if you are around, please endeavor to signal us so that we will also consider you. But if you are not around, it is still very much perfect. BROCC, are you in the house? Please go for the registration, enter those information appropriately so that your certificate can be given to you. It is very, very important. Okay, you will add all this to your CV. A web package CV attracts a web package pay job. So please kindly do that. Kindly do that. Let's be fast about that, so that we can go into the next segment that has to do with the breakout sessions. Let's be fast. 5 minutes. We've spent 2 minutes out of it already. Let's be fast about that. Please, let's be fast with that. We have 2 more minutes for this very exercise, and we'll move swiftly to the breakout section. Please, as you are going out, ensure that you are putting in your information. Nobody should go to the hostel. Crowd control unit, please help us. Nobody should go to the hostel. Them. Okay? We should endeavor to grab them. Even while you will be returning back to your seat as you are finishing up with that exercise of the Edo job headline registration, so that your certificate can be generated. I would like to make us to understand that at this point in time, we will be going into the breakout sessions, just like what we did yesterday when we had topics starting from cyber security training. Please be getting yourself prepared, even while this last program we just had now is coming to an end by that registration. And of course, all graduate students, please be getting ready as well. Somebody will be coming around to talk to you as the matter concerning students who just left school and those who will be graduating from school, even as immediate as it can be. And of course, there will also be a section called the I generation. In full, the Isaka generation. Please, let's get set for that. I will be announcing to us now the men that God has prepared that He will be using to impart us via these different areas that I am mentioning. And of course, the discipleship training that has to do with ministry of prayer and the word. Please, you had an experience about that yesterday. It will still be continuing in the next few minutes. Please get yourself prepared. And of course, we also had a training this afternoon that has to do with scaling and strengthening your career through mentorship by our leader and our deacon. So in that very section, what will be happening is questions and answer. If there are ways that you were not too clear why that particular section was on, this opportunity will avail you the available time for you to ask meaningful questions and to gain more insight on what mentorship can actually do on your economical standard as one who has a societal value. Please, if we are through with the Edo job exercise, please let's return back now to our various seats, even as we will be breaking into different sections. Please, you can now return back to your honorable seats. So what we'll be doing right now for the cyber security, please, every one of us look forward and see how I'm going to make a display of my hand to know where each and everyone that is interested in these particular areas will be seated. For cyber security, for those of us who are interested in that training, please, at the back behind that TV stand, at my right hand side, that is where the people undergoing the security training will be sitting. Cyber security training, so that you can be taught on how you can prevent yourself. If possible, the organization you are working with, if you are in that area, and you can actually avoid some security threats, especially online, that will come around you. So please, you will be at the back of that TV stand. For those that will be undergoing the training of the I generation, that will be taken by our leader and our patron of the National Youth Body, the person of Elder Conlis Elua. He will be in charge of that very section, and will be using the chorister stand for that very lecture or section. The I generation, in full, the Issachar generation. You know, in the Bible, we were made to understand that the people then, that is the Issachar generation, and the people who are timely disciplined. So whatsoever that our leader will be talking to you is to ensure that you as a youth, you have to be timely disciplined so that you can meet with your desire part-time. So this section will be the section that will be used for that very exercise. All right? And of course, talking about all graduate students. All graduate students, okay, as in regard the graduate section, it's not actually graduate, it's undergraduate. Thank you for that prompt information. Undergraduate, those of us that are still in school. Okay, please, you will be using this section here. This section I'm pointing, the person that will be in charge of that is Pastor Divine Osemeke from, okay, that is CQBF President, Dersu chapter. This is where you will be using all undergraduates that are in the house. Then that of discipleship and training, you will still use the area that was used yesterday. Discipleship ministry and the word, ministry of prayer and the word, you will be using where you used yesterday. And our leader, Professor Ekwamosa, will be on ground for that very section. Please, if as you hear my voice now, you can please stand up and go straight to where you will be participating from this program. And we will be using just 30 minutes for this exercise. Okay, the undergraduate and those that are about entering into higher institution, just be here, all right? And Pastor Divine Osemeke will meet up with you. Thank you and God bless you. Cyber security, please, behind that television stand, be there. The generation of Issachar, please be here at this chorister stand. Undergraduate, please be here. And of course, those of us that will be participating from the questions and answer that will be taken by our leader, Councillor Stanley Eluwa. At my far left, please be there. Just be there seated so that you can answer questions as you regard mentorship and how you can actually skate through in your career and strengthen it through the virtue of good mentorship. At my far left, be there, our leader will meet up with you. Generation of Issachar, if you want to build yourself according to the timing of God, please come to the chorister stand. Our leader is already waiting for you. Please be there. Please be there. Stand up. Some of us are still seated. Stand up and be at a particular area that you actually need these informations. Stand up on your feet. Stand up on your feet. We are using just 30 minutes for this very section. Thank you. Let's be fast about that. Let's be fast about that. Those of us at the very back, please stand up. Let's participate. Information is power. This is exactly what we need. Pastor Divine is already standing, waiting for the undergraduate and those that at the back of this auditorium. Please go there. Our leader has gone there to wait for you. Cyber security at the far end on my right hand side. In addition to all of this, immediately this session is over, each and every one of us should go back to the hostel. Your feeding for tonight will be taking place there. And all national ESCOs and zonal ESCOs should please go to the kitchen for their own feeding. Thank you. 30 minutes. Please arrange yourself very well. arrange yourself very well so that the instructor will have a proper view to actually impart you. The I generation will be dealing also on new businesses as you regard the new development that is on trend now and how you can maximize those technology. You know, 5G now is around the corner. All this impact will be coming through the I generation, the Issachar generation. Thank you and God bless.
Lord, hallelujah.